Today I'm going to be talking to you all about a tarot deck that just came out and I'm utterly thrilled about it. It is the Tarot of the Owls. This is not a sponsored video at all. I just really love birds and owls in particular, and I also use tarot cards as a practitioner, so I just wanted to share this with you all and give my opinion of this deck that just came out. So, when I first heard about this deck, it was from Llewellyn's website. Llewellyn publishes a lot of great stuff, so I try to stay up to date with it and check their website every once in a while. When I saw this was an upcoming project, I was so excited. I was just over the moon. In addition to being a practicing occultist who uses tarot cards, I'm also an avid bird watcher and conservationist and environmentalist as well. So all of these things are really important to me, as well as my connection to nature, which I think a lot of pagans and other different types of practitioners can relate to. Personally, I've just always had a love of birds, and I feel like this deck is all of the best things rolled into one. The cost of the deck for me in USD was $31.99, and yeah, I think it's a really good deal for what this is. It's a nice little box set with a book that is fully in color inside and an absolutely beautiful deck. So I think a really good description of this is actually on the back of the book here, and you can already see some of the really charming art coming through. So this is how it is described on the back of the book. It is, unlock your intuition with wisdom from owls of all shapes and sizes. This Rider-Waite-Smith-based deck features spectacular artwork by Elisabeth Alba and a companion guide by Pamela Chen. You'll connect with the four parliaments of the minor arcana, the Great Horned Owl, Burrowing, Barn, and Snowy Owl, the unique members of the Major Arcana, and the Royal Owls of the Four Court cards. Tarot of the Owl teaches you how to use their insight to conquer daily changes and create the life you truly desire. So of course when we're doing reviews like this, what makes a good tarot deck or set for you is really going to depend on your preferences and what you want to get out of a tarot deck. So for me personally, it's really important for me to have detailed imagery to be able to learn the associations and correspondences, so I really want to see that in a deck. Also, the artwork's important, so I want the artwork to both connect with me personally and feel some sort of a vibe or connection with it. And for me personally, I feel that with birds. There's a lot of symbolism with birds, and I think it's going to be really cool to have the four suits actually be different types of owl. I think that's going to be really neat. And also, something to consider is your relationship with the cards. How will you be using them? Are you going to use them for yourself, for other people? And what are you going to have in terms of expectations? So, for me, I already have absolutely fantastic, impression from this deck. As you can see here, this is a full colored booklet. Absolutely stunning. And one thing I really like is in the cards, I don't want them to be too small, because I notice, when tarot cards are really tiny, it's hard to flip through them for this particular usage of doing readings for myself or others, but additionally it's hard to see the art and hard to see the symbolism in the particular deck. In addition to just having the cards to look at with the symbolism, you also have these beautiful full-page color prints of each card, and right there you can already see all of the details from the artist. Like, you can tell, this is the lovers, and these two, you can see the details in the feathers, and these two owls are holding a snake on a branch, and see all of those details that the artist may have wanted to convey in their artwork. And that could help you also get a better reading. So wow, just absolutely charming. Really beautiful book to come with this set. Always like it when they include a ribbon. It's easier to get things out of. So let's take a look at some of these cards. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love here that they used a baby owl, a little owlet. So this is the Ace of Wands being shown. You can see that I already have been going through these cards. I just absolutely fell in love with them. And here is the High Priestess, absolutely gorgeous. I love the moon symbolism here for the High Priestess. As you can see, The beautiful owl is wearing a little crown with a beautiful veil coming down and also sitting on the moon. And this is a triple goddess or triple moon crown. Really lovely there. So for me personally, for most of my personal readings day to day, I use the Thoth Tarot system. But I mean, ultimately, that's your preference and what you want to do. I like Thoth deck because it's in line with the current aeon. My flavor of occultism that I practice is Thelema, so I'm really concerned with connecting to that 93 current. But, you know, for other, you know, more casual readings, or if I wanted a broader perspective, I would turn to something like a Rider-Waite-Smith-based deck, or, you know, perhaps I'm giving a reading for someone else and they would like a Rider-Waite-Smith deck reading. Oh, I just can't get over how cute the little babies are. How sweet. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention this one. Look at this beauty! This is the Queen of Wands, and there's a bunch of sunflowers around here, and the crown is also made out of sunflower petals. Absolutely wonderful, charming. Reading this deck would just, I'd be an absolute delight to see the artist's beautiful work put into this deck. But also just, you know, it's just wonderful. Oh my gosh, oh baby. It's a snowy owl. Like I said, there's 4 different owls talked about in the back of the deck, but absolutely wonderful to see the 4 different types of owls portrayed in this deck. Before I bought it, I thought that the different cards were actually just all a different type of owl, but it actually is just 4 different types spread across the different suits. This is actually really good that I'm going through these cards as I'm doing it, because they got a little bit sort of chaotic here. Oh, so charming. I love the artwork on this. You see the balance of the cool and the warm colors here. So, I just really gotta show you all this. This is the Fool for the deck. Oh my gosh, absolutely cute and charming. It's a little baby owlet. And see, when I talked about before about the artwork being able to tell the symbolism, the Fool is often depicted as youthful innocence, or, you know, having a sense of wonder and innocence about the world. It's normally portrayed as a guy absent-mindedly walking off the cliff, and in this case with an owl, it's an owlet, and you can see the little underfluff there, the downy feathers, or it's just a baby, and possibly stepping out into the world for the first time. Their nest may be over here, and they might be jumping off this branch to fledge. Absolutely wonderful, charming. I love the sweet, innocent expression in their face, walking off this branch to fledge. And if that wasn't wonderful enough, you can see right here, it has an actual little squirrel friend, so cute, in the knapsack. Really love that. And I love that the artist, you know, through all these cards is keeping with the nature theme and keeping with the theme of owls. One thing I really, really love is the color palette they chose, really bright, beautiful, evocative. And also, if that wasn't cool enough, the artist also took time to show the expressions on the individual faces of the owls. And here's a really expressive one for Justice. You're seeing that symbolism come through. You see the owl is holding on to a sword or dagger in the tree, and no detail was left unnoticed or unthought of. See, right here, the sword or dagger has owl wings or some sort of bird wings right there. Absolutely wonderful detail. And if you notice on the scale, there's a mouse and a mole. I just absolutely love that. Incredibly cute. And of course the expression, don't forget the expression. Really charming. For owl lovers and bird lovers and animal lovers, this is an absolutely wonderful deck and sure to delight and please. Oh, just love those sunset colors. And again, we're seeing this theme of owls even carried through the implements. I love that. Oh my goodness. It's trumpeting at the babies. A wonderful world card. Oh, we have a very serious expression on the King of Swords face. And what I think about was cool about this card is it is set in an Arctic setting. Lots of snow on the ground where you'd find this particular owl. And we also have some birds up here. My first inclination is to think there's some sort of a seagull. It's really hard to tell. But most likely because it is the location in a snowy owl, it's some sort of Arctic seabird of some kind. Oh my goodness. The sun. Wow, this, you really do get that sun imagery, that Leo, bright, sunny, joyous expression coming from this owl and this card. Really, really emotive. And I do think birds do have these emotions. You can tell when they're smiling or angry or, serious, playful, and you just get absolute happiness from this particular card. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, I love how they chose to have the owl having sort of spooky eyes reflecting in the moon, and even the moon is an owl. That is so cool. Incredible detail. I love that. Two of Swords. Oh. Yeah, every card is an absolute delight here. Wow, this is beautiful. This is the star. Yeah, so as I'm going through this, I'm just sort of thinking about how I would use this deck. I mean, like I said, I don't normally work with Rider-Waite-Smith, but I think I could use this. I definitely feel a strong connection with the artwork used here and nature and owls and animals. Oh my gosh, look at this spooky guy. Kind of sad that there's dead owls, but again, we see the expression of their friend, and death is a big black owl. I actually looked that up. I was curious if there actually are black owls in nature, and there are. Pretty cool. Oh my gosh, the Hermit. Sort of reminds me of the owl in Winnie the Pooh for sure. Wow, I love that. So charming. Oh no. Got a little bend there. Strength. Oh, I just love this Magician card. Absolutely wonderful and charming. See again the details. Right there, it's like a little owl eyes, a button to hold up the cloak that the owl is wearing with the wings. And there are all of the magician's implements right there on top of the log. What's cool about that is, of course, owls do nest in worn down trees known as snag trees. They basically rot inside of the tree, making a hollowed out area that the owl can get into and nest. So I think that's maybe, perhaps a reference to that. An owl, of course, would make use of a tree. And getting the as above and so below imagery that we normally see with the magician with their hands on the traditional deck, you have flowers instead. Absolutely wonderful and so appropriate. Ten of Wands. Wonderful. Yeah, this is just so great. And if you're someone who gives professional tarot readings, I think it's an absolute joy to utilize this deck. People would get a lot out of it, have a lot of fun with this. Especially if you've been giving tarot readings for yourself and others for real. Here we are, the lovers. Anyway, especially if you give tarot readings a lot for yourself or others, you may want a little bit different imagery to see things a little bit differently. And that's why I think a lot of these beautiful art decks are great, because they give you a fresh perspective. You may notice things on these owl cards you might not pick up on other decks. Oh my gosh, look at the rainbow. That is so wonderful. I love that. Can't get enough of these cards. So fun. And yeah, they're a great size, a standard card size, so they'll be extra easy to shuffle. And yeah, I think highly recommend this deck. I'm super excited and I can't wait to get busy doing readings with this. Thank you so much for joining me on this review. It was an absolute pleasure to introduce this deck to you all. If you are interested in purchasing it, I will put a link below to Llewellyn's website and a direct link to the deck itself. As always, if you would like to keep up with me and the content I make and see more of all this stuff I'm doing, you can find my Patreon link below, as well as a bunch of my social media links. And of course, you always have the option to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So have a wonderful day, and thank you again. So I'm the center of expression for the primal will to good, and so are you.